Before I get started with my houseplant update, I'd like to give you an update on the Mars Hydro Indoor Hydroponic Herb Garden Kit that I received from Mars Hydro about a month ago. I did a video where I showed you how I set it up and all of that, so now I want to show you some of the results. As instructed, I placed the seeds on a damp paper towel, and after a week the seeds sprouted enough. They had some little leaves growing, they had roots, so I was able to put them in the little sponge cones and transfer them to the hydroponic system as shown here. After filling all of the openings, this is what it looked like. I then went through and covered each opening with a humidity dome. I kept the humidity dome over the little sprouts until the sprouts reached the top of the dome, and then I removed it. And this is what my herbs look like today after 1 month. They've gotten quite tall, so it's time for me to raise the grow light, which is one thing that this system has that a lot of the other systems do not. My plants can continue to grow, and I can just cut them off, clip them off as I need them, and I can just raise the light as my plants get higher. So it's been very effortless. The system clearly works. So I just wanted to share the progress on that with you. Thanks again, Mars Hydro, for your indoor hydroponic herb garden kit. Now let's get on to the Greenspaces houseplant update. Hello and welcome to Peggy's Plants, coming to you from Central Florida with an imported plant update from Greenspaces ID. Acclimating imported plants and getting them to grow is pretty tricky. It's been almost 6 months since I did this unboxing, and I decided it would be a good time to show you what the plants look like now. They've been a little neglected. I had a death in the family, and I've had had to take some time bouncing back. But this is the first plant in that shipment, and it's the Alocasia dragon scale. And as you can see here, it was in pretty good condition when I received it. It had some nice leaves. I put it in leca immediately and put it in my grow tent, which is where I left it up until about 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, it adapted quite well to the grow tent and the leca. The leaf you see with the lime green is a new leaf that has not hardened off yet. But this plant has had absolutely no problems other than spider mite. So it has been treated for spider mites twice, and even through that, it still looks really good. So after about 2 weeks ago, I took it out of the grow tent, put it in my living area, and it has adapted just fine. It's proven to be a very hardy plant, which I wasn't expecting, but it's a great addition to my plant collection and has been effortless to grow. So that's the first one, my Alocasia dragon scale. The second plant that came in this shipment was the Aglaonema pictum tricolor. I was really excited about this plant, although I had heard that they don't travel well. So it didn't have much of a root system when I got it, and this is what it looks like today. Yeah, she didn't travel well. She didn't acclimate well, I'll say. All that's left is this one yellow leaf, which is serving no purpose. I just haven't been able to bring myself to cut the leaf off, and this stem. However, the root system still looks viable. I have it in perlite, so I'm going to leave it in here, and hopefully at some point this plant will begin to grow. But for now, she's not too impressive. I'm going to leave her back here and leave her alone and keep my fingers crossed. The next plant that I received in this shipment was the Philodendron Biliatei Adibapuance cross. And as you can see here, it has one long root and a couple of leaves. And I put this one in leca too. And this is what it looks like today. This plant has done extremely well. As you can see, there's a lot of new growth at the bottom. I have a couple of new plants growing down there. So it's like really taking off. But I just put it in the leca. It adapted well, no setbacks at all. I didn't even put this one in the grow tent. And here's a close-up look at some of the little babies that this plant is currently growing. So this plant traveled very well, acclimated well. Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to import this one again. A very hardy plant it's proven to be. One of the plants I was most excited about receiving in this shipment was this Philodendrum Gigantium or Gigantium. I've been really wanting one of these. It's one I requested. It's a beautiful plant. It looked pretty good when I received it, in terms of the leaves at least, but I was a little concerned about the roots. The root system did not look good at all. Most of these roots were not valuable at all, and I was not able to acclimate this plant. I couldn't do anything, and yeah, it's in plant heaven now. So rest in peace, Gigantium. Next up is the Philidendrum Splendid. This is a cross between a varicosum and a melanochrysum, both which I have had problems with. They're fussy plants. And as you can see, nothing in terms of roots, nothing much at all. And yeah, to this day, this is what this plant looks like. All I have left is the one leaf, and it is barely hanging on. It's upright and holding its own, but not doing well, as you can see. It is in leca as well, which is what I put all of my plants in for the most part when I acclimate them, especially imports. But it's has some hope. It is growing some roots, so that's a good thing. So I'm trying to leave this leaf on there as long as possible to aid in photosynthesis, and hopefully this plant will do better in the future. And the final plant in this shipment was the Anthurium papillaminum crossed with the Magnificum verde. I am very intimidated by Anthurium still, but this one arrived looking really good and great condition, but I wasn't impressed with the roots. The sheaths just would come right off of the roots. So yeah, but this is what it looks like today. I have it in leca as well. It's not in the grow tent. It's out on a shelf in my grow room. It's growing kind of wonky, but it is growing. I need to rinse the mineral deposits off the leca. But so far this plant is doing pretty well, especially given the fact that it did go dry a few times in the last month, and it has had to deal with spider mites as well. But it is doing well and growing roots, and that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, stay well. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.